Have you ever felt it? That invisible weight, like you're constantly running on empty emotionally, mentally, physically too.
Hmm.
And all the while, there's this quiet hum of, well, self-doubt nagging away.
It's such a common feeling.
It really is. It's a burden so many caregivers know, right? Often it gets called mom guilt or motherhood guilt.
Yeah.
And what our deep dive today really gets into is how sneaky that guilt can be, how it can quietly grow into something much deeper, much more debilitating: burnout.
Exactly. And that's our mission, really, in this deep dive. We want to help you understand the difference
Yeah.
because it's crucial
Right.
to distinguish between those subtle whispers of guilt and the really profound signs of burnout, which can sometimes be missed.
Okay.
We're aiming to help you pinpoint if you might be overlooking some critical warning signs in yourself.
Uh-huh.
And importantly, uncover some practical research-backed strategies for relief, for when you just feel stretched to your absolute limit.
Yeah, because time is precious. We know that. And there's just so much information out there, it can be overwhelming.
Totally.
So think of this deep dive as your essential compass, maybe, guiding you through these really complex feelings. And even better, giving you some concrete pathways to sort of reclaim your peace, your energy.
That's the goal.
By the end, we really hope to hand you not just understanding, but a kind of practical roadmap to steer clear of that burnout reef.
Yeah, that treacherous reef. Good analogy.
Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. We've all felt that little jab, haven't we?
Oh, definitely.
That inner voice piping up saying, oh, I should have played more today. Or, look at other moms. They seem to manage so effortlessly. What is wrong with me?
Right, that's it. That's the quiet whisper of mom guilt.
Mm-hmm. And it pops up in the most mundane moments, doesn't it? Like,
Yeah.
you hand your kid a Scream for 5 minutes piece, or serve a store-bought dinner.
Or just try to sneak 5 minutes for yourself.
Exactly. And boom, there it is. That relentless pressure to always be more, do more, give more. It's like this self-imposed judgment just draining you.
And what our sources really emphasize isn't just where it comes from, but the insidious feedback loop it creates.
Ah, okay.
For instance, one really interesting piece of research we looked at found that mothers spending, say, more than a certain number of hours a week on social media, they reported a significantly higher incidence of chronic mom guilt.
Oh, okay.
And it's not just the comparison, though, that's huge. It's also the sheer cognitive load, processing all those idealized, often totally unrealistic, curated lives.
That makes sense.
Plus, there's this deeply ingrained societal idea, isn't there, that self-care is somehow indulgent.
Right. Like it's a luxury, not a necessity.
Exactly. Instead of being fundamental for survival, basically.
That's such a crucial distinction, though. We talk about guilt like it's just one thing. But how do we tell the difference between, little nudge, do better, and something really destructive? When does it cross a line?
That is a really, really important question. Our deep dive highlights a vital distinction here.
Yeah.
There's what we might call adaptive guilt. That acts like a helpful internal compass. It signals when our actions maybe genuinely drift from our core values, and it prompts positive change, constructive change.
Right, like if you snap at your kid, you feel bad, and it makes you want to apologize and reconnect.
Exactly. That's adaptive. Versus maladaptive or chronic guilt. That's different. It's pervasive, often irrational self-condemnation. It just drains your energy without leading anywhere useful.
Ah.
It's that voice just constantly telling you you're simply not enough no matter what you actually do.
Okay, so if that's the whisper of guilt, how does it morph into something as big and debilitating as burnout? What's the tipping point the sources talked about? How does that chronic guilt feed into it?
That's the critical link.
Yeah.
The research suggests that chronic unaddressed guilt, it acts like a constant low-level stressor,
Right, just wearing you down.
slowly eroding your emotional reserves, your physical reserves too. Guilt often focuses on specific actions. I shouldn't have done X.
Oh.
Burnout, though, it's more like a systemic collapse of resources. It's a chronic state of exhaustion. It stems not from one perceived failure, but from prolonged, unmitigated stress.
With no recovery time.
Exactly. And feeling constantly overwhelmed without adequate recovery. That's the key.
So, okay, what does this all mean for you listening right now? How do you recognize if maybe you've crossed that line from persistent guilt into actual burnout territory?
This is so important because burnout doesn't look the same for everyone. And it's often much more subtle than, a complete collapse.
Right. Not always dramatic.
Not at all. Our sources highlight something often missed. It's not just physical exhaustion, though that's there. Psychologically, it often shows up as depersonalization. that feeling of detachment or cynicism, even towards people you love.
Wow.
You might feel like you're just going through the motions, physically there, but emotionally miles away.
That sounds tough.
It is. And there's also often a reduced sense of personal accomplishment. Like no matter how much you do, it never feels like enough.
Ugh. Yeah. Familiar.
Other signs. Persistent fatigue, even after you think you've rested. Feeling like small things are just disproportionately triggering. Or maybe a general numbness instead of joy,
Yeah.
even with your own kids.
Yeah.
Cognitively, maybe brain fog, forgetfulness, trouble concentrating. Basically, even when you're genuinely trying your absolute best, burnout can make you feel like a profound failure.
So you might still be functioning on the outside.
Exactly. You might still be showing up, getting things done, but you're definitely not thriving, and that is your crucial clue that something needs to change.
And it's so important to hammer this home. If you are experiencing burnout, it absolutely does not mean you're doing motherhood wrong.
Not at all.
It means you're trying to do it all, likely without enough systemic support. The real issue, and this is crucial, isn't it? Society often praises mothers who sacrifice everything.
The martyr complex.
Right. But then it rarely provides the actual scaffolding, the resources to sustain that level of sacrifice.
It's completely unsustainable.
And it is not your fault.
Absolutely not. So the question becomes, how do we start to decode this inner critic? How do we break this guilt burnout cycle and actually reclaim some energy?
Yeah, what can people actually do?
And the good news is, you don't necessarily need to completely overhaul your entire life overnight. That often feels impossible anyway, right?
Totally impossible.
Small, consistent shifts, if they're deeply understood, can genuinely help you breathe again.
Okay, so what are some of these shifts? What really stood out from the sources? For me, it was this first one. It sounds deceptively simple, but wow, powerful. Name what you're feeling.
Yes, bring it into the light.
Exactly. Guilt kind of loses its power when you face it. Say it out loud, write it down. I feel guilty because I let the kids watch TV so I could have 5 minutes of quiet.
Or I feel like I'm falling short on X.
Yeah, just own it. And then ask yourself, is this actually true, or is this just that chronic maladaptive guilt talking again?
And there's science behind this. Our sources explain that simply externalizing a feeling, naming it aloud, writing it down, it leverages a cognitive principle called affect labeling.
Okay, affect labeling.
Yeah. And it's been shown to actually reduce the intensity of emotional responses. It gives you a sense of control over the emotion rather than feeling controlled by it.
That makes so much sense, gaining that bit of distance.
Exactly. And then leading on from that, our deep dive really encourages actively dismantling the perfect mom myth.
Oh, that old chestnut.
Right. Perfection is a lie. It just is. Your kids don't need a Pinterest perfect life.
They really don't.
They need your authentic presence, your real self. So letting go of that pressure to be everything, do everything, it's vital.
You're already something irreplaceable to them.
You're their safe place. It's about rejecting those external messages that tell you you're falling short and starting to trust your own intrinsic worth.
Okay, I get that. Letting go of the perfect mom myth. Intellectually, yeah, we all agree. But our sources also hinted at just how deep those societal expectations run, didn't they?
They really do.
So what are some practical, like almost daily things someone listening can do to actually start dismantling that internal perfect mom editor beyond just saying, oh yeah, it's a myth?
That's a brilliant question.
Yeah.
Because it takes active work. One really practical step is conscious comparison reduction.
Okay, like with social media.
Exactly. Actively curate your feeds. Unfollow accounts that consistently make you feel inadequate or trigger that comparison anxiety.
Be ruthless.
Be ruthless. Replace them with accounts that celebrate real messy motherhood or ones that offer genuine support and connection.
Good one. What else?
Another idea is to identify your one thing for the day.
Your one thing.
Yeah. Instead of trying to be perfect at absolutely everything impossible. Choose maybe one area where you genuinely want to connect or feel you did well today. Maybe it's 5 minutes of focused playtime. Maybe it's reading a story without distractions.
And let the rest be good enough.
Precisely. Let the rest be good enough.
Yeah.
It shifts your focus from this broad, impossible standard to something achievable, something that can bring real satisfaction.
I love that. Choosing your one thing. And often the biggest barrier to even having space for that one thing, or just for breathing, is this idea that we have to do it all ourselves, which ties beautifully into the next powerful strategy our sources really emphasized, making room for yourself. Without feeling like you have to earn it first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even 10 minutes. 10 minutes to sip tea while it's actually hot or stretch or just sit quietly. It can genuinely change the trajectory of your day.
And the key is you don't have to earn that rest.
Absolutely not.
You deserve it by default, just for being human and for doing the immense work you do every single day.
Which leads us right to the next point. Ask for help.
Mm.
And maybe even harder sometimes, say yes when it's offered.
Oof. Yeah. That's a big one for many.
It really is. But this isn't a sign of failure. It is a profound act of wisdom and self-preservation. Let someone else take the reins, even for something small. Delegate that task. Let the dishwasher go unemptied for a night if someone offers to help with something else.
And accept the help without that immediate, oh no, I couldn't possibly, guilt reflex.
Exactly. Accept it without a shred of guilt. Our sources are clear. A strong support network is a major buffer against burnout. It literally reduces stress hormones and fosters resilience.
Okay, makes sense. And finally, what's the last piece?
The last piece, and this can be the hardest one for some, is to talk to someone you trust.
Breaking the silence.
Yes, it can feel incredibly isolating when you're right in the thick of burnout or drowning in guilt, but so many others are walking this exact path with you.
You're not alone.
Never alone. Sharing your story, just saying it out loud to someone who gets it or tries to, it helps externalize those feelings. It helps you gain perspective. It's about breaking that isolation.
And realizing you are part of a larger community, even if it doesn't feel like it sometimes.
Precisely. And there are excellent support options out there. Finding the right connection can make a world of difference.
Where can people look?
Well, in the UK, you could look into the Pandas Foundation UK, or definitely speak with your NHS GP. They're a crucial first port of call.
Okay.
In the U.S., Postpartum Support International is a fantastic resource. They have online support groups, helplines, lots of different ways to connect.
Great.
And really globally, you can always seek out local maternal mental health resources or peer support groups in your area. The key is reaching out. Remember, you are never, ever alone in this experience.
So let's circle back then to an empowering truth we touched on. You deserve joy too.
Yes.
Being a good mom, whatever that even means.
Yeah.
It isn't about doing everything perfectly or sacrificing yourself until there's literally nothing left.
No.
It's fundamentally about loving your children, yes, but also, crucially, loving yourself enough to rest, to be present, to be authentic.
So when that quiet, chronic whisper of mom guilt starts up again, telling you you're not enough, we really encourage you to try talking back. Use an affirmation like, I'm doing my best, and that is enough.
I like that. Simple, powerful.
And remember, accepting help isn't just wise, it's vital for your well-being. Share your story with someone you trust, a friend, your partner, your GP, a therapist. Move from isolation to connection.
Use those resources.
Use the resources like Pandas Foundation UK, your NHS GP, Postpartum Support International, or whatever is available locally.
Okay, so here's where the insights from our deep dive get, I think, really profound. Burnout doesn't always look like a complete collapse, does it?
No, definitely not.
Sometimes it's much quieter. It might be a subtle smile that's masking profound fatigue. It might be a mom who keeps showing up day after day but hasn't genuinely felt joy in weeks.
Right. Navigating life in that fog of depersonalization we talked about.
Yeah, just going through the motions.
And this is the crucial takeaway, isn't it? You don't have to wait until you break.
Please don't wait.
The wisdom lies in listening to those early whispers, that exhaustion, that cynicism creeping in. Take the break before you hit the wall. Seek the support before you feel completely overwhelmed. Reclaim your peace proactively.
You are worthy of peace and joy and support, starting right now, today.